Hello, today is Friday, September 2nd, so it's Labor Day weekend in Rocky Mountain National Park. I'm going to be doing the Finch Lake Trailhead today. This is in the Wild Basin section of the park. The nice thing about it is it's far away from the visitors and entrance station, although I did have to go to the backcountry office today. Weather today obviously is not looking great. It's supposed to be a little bit better tomorrow. Temps will hit low 40s tonight if it's rainy all day. Could even be a little colder when I'm at altitude. Shouldn't be too bad of a hike. It's about 5 miles to Finch Lake, and I'd like to fish Pear Lake probably tomorrow if the weather is like this. I've done this hike before in the winter, and it's a nice hike, big open meadow, but the beginning of it I refer to it as the escalator. It's like a mile where it's just kind of straight up the hill. So a little bit of the highlights here behind me. The nice thing, look at this parking lot. 3 cars, probably only fits about 10. So the major ranger station is about 2 miles that way. So the nice thing with this is pretty much go right here. So I'm about 20 minutes into my hike. Sun's peeking out a little bit. Perfect outside. It's probably only upper 50s. I'm wearing short sleeve shorts. I've got a jacket, so I'm actually kind of hot right now. It's probably hard to see, but way down there is the road and a lodge. I'm just noticing, I'm still on the escalator, but again it's coming down a little bit, but you can start to see a little bit of color in some of the leaves. And keep in mind it's Labor Day weekend. You give it a couple more weeks, it should be popping at this altitude, and in a month really going and stuff actually on the forest floor. Alright, so I just finished the escalator, so it levels out now and becomes more of a forest that I'm just entering. It smells great. It's very clean forest smell. I can tell it's affecting my allergies a little bit. Not horrible, but I think it's been 2 years since I've done this trail. And again, I do it in the winter, so in the summer, a piece of cake, but it's familiar to me where maybe a couple miles ahead I remember it opening up, and what I thought was a trail was actually like a stream. So it was still fun doing it, but you can say I was off trail. So I'm probably a little bit more than halfway there. Just took a break, took off my rain jacket. Last section was all uphill for 20 minutes, so definitely going up in altitude. I'll show you the view where I'm at now. You can definitely see that it's not raining, but it's a little windy up here, but definitely gaining altitude. So I am now within a mile of my site. This is the first time it's actually gone down. This has definitely been a uphill hike the entire way, but you can get a good view behind me. Definitely feel like you're at elevation. It's only like 10:40 in the morning, so it's definitely not warm. I'd say it's in the 50s. I'm a little chilly right now, but so I'm within a mile of getting to the site. Definitely a maintained trail. They've been doing a lot of work on it. Very easy to see in the non-winter periods. So I'll check in when I get at the site, but the other thing that sticks out is it's definitely lodgepole pine, what I was just going through. This place is... Alright, I just turned the corner and I am just about there. I can see the lake off to my left. Shallow lake. Just off to this side here. See some ducklings. So it's supposed to be barren from fishing. I'll check it out later when I get my water source and all that. But pretty good time on the hike, 2 hours 5 minutes. And I went at a pretty good clip as a whole. 80% uphill. I actually went downhill at the very end. Oh, there's like a family of ducks here. Take a quick little look at the lake. So this will be my water source later. Probably have dinner down here as well. So as of right now, looks like this is all me. So it's just about 1 o'clock on day 1 and camp is set up. Just came back from getting water and having a little bit of a snack. Did a little bit of laundry. See, so right now I got my bare vault over here. Got my tent set up here. Store my gear here, and I'm trying to dry some of it out over here. So I was now just going to do a little bit of exploring around the site and all that. And you can see it's definitely very dense in here. It is chilly. So now that it's 1 in the afternoon, it's got to be mid-50s maybe, so I went ahead and put on a long sleeve. I'm still wearing socks, but so afternoon on day one, I'm exploring Finch Lake, kind of working my way around the whole thing, and I'm at the narrow end of it right now. So as you can see, it's a large lake, but it's only about 2 feet deep. So in the winter, it will totally freeze over, so there are no fish in it. I've seen ducks, frogs, stuff like that, but definitely a very pretty lake, that's for sure. At the wide angle of it. Ducks are right over there, so I'll be heading over there in a bit. It's probably going to take about a half hour to walk this whole thing. I'm actually right now standing on a very spongy area, so you can tell the water level definitely higher. A little bit of blue sky. It's definitely cold enough to when I make it back, I'll probably put my pant legs on. So I bet you it's definitely mid-50s tops up here right now. Nice thing is there's no bugs, nothing like that, so I'm gonna keep exploring the area and see what I find. Figure I'd try something new. I usually don't bring a frying pan up here, but I've got it, and we'll see how it works out. I like to try different things. So day one pretty good. The weather better than what I thought. You looked way over the mountains that way. It's been gray and yucky all day. You have heard some thunder. I hiked this lake, this whole trailhead here, and you just got to be careful in some of the low-lying areas. It is wet, so I got my socks wet, but I haven't seen anyone since the 2 people on my hike leaving, but overall it's a good trip so far. It's now dinner time, so 5:20 or so. Onion, carrot, potato, summer sausage, and one of those Jimmy Dean hamburgers, all pre-spiced up. Looks like it cooked pretty well, and stuck to the bottom of the pan a little bit. So I'm going to enjoy a dinner, finish off my drink, maybe get cleaned up, and yeah, we're getting more light than what I thought. That was another reason I ate kind of early, was I wasn't sure about the weather and the light. So I'm going to go ahead and eat up. Just got stuff. It's not really wet, but I still dry it out. This I all soaked in the lake, so on my way back I'll wear that back, and it's actually dry now, but just keeping that going. So usually, since I have about maybe 25-30 minutes of light, I usually try to get stuff packed up, organized, ready to go. Had a good dinner, stuff to drink, put my Bear Vault and stuff away. So I've got my Kindle, gonna do a little reading and relaxing, and got hat on, and I brought gloves as well. I do believe at this altitude, with the weather and all that, it's probably going to get into the upper 30s, and I got my big bag, so I'm fine on all that, but it will be. This is the morning of day 2 on Saturday. I just had breakfast, got cleaned up, and I'm heading to go fishing. So I'm going to Pear Lake, which is 2 miles in that direction. The weather looks decent, so I'm not bringing a rain jacket, although I'm still wearing my pants fully down to my ankles, I should say. It's probably in the 50s right now. The nice thing about that is no mosquitoes, no bugs. So hopefully the weather will clear up. So it's taking me about a half hour to get up there, and we'll see how the fishing is. Time to get going. It's definitely uphill. You get these little marshes that will develop. But this will probably be a great spot for animal activity at night. You can see there's water bugs in here, but again, this is probably only a foot deep. This thing's frozen solid, I'm sure, by end of October. But just a neat little spot to visit. So I am heading in this direction still, so I hope I'll be there in a half mile or so. But neat little spot. Having to circumvent all these little areas where there's rocks and giant holes. Trail actually was right through here, but now there's a bunch of pine trees in it, so it looks a little calmer over here. It's definitely windy as you're going through it. I was up here 2 years ago, 4th of July, and I recall there was still snow up here. In fact, you can see it way at the top of that peak right there. So it doesn't look like it's going to be great fishing, but I'm here. I'm certainly going to give it a go. Here's Pear Lake, and it looks like it's going to constantly be windy here today, so not really fishable.
That little stream, 4th of July, was a lot deeper before, so I did catch fish in there. I checked it out now. It's only about 6 inches deep, so nothing there. So I think I'm gonna get just coming down a little bit. There's now no wind. It's nice. So when you get the cover around you, it's nice. You can see, getting a shot of the clouds. These literally just started to appear in the last 10 minutes or so. And they're pretty tall thunderheads there, and the bottom has that nice gray blue line. So I'm probably gonna hike. I got about 2.5 miles to go back. The Pear Lake sites are about a quarter mile this way. There's 2 of them. With the clouds like that, it's probably best I head back just since. So it's 2 o'clock on day 2, and you may pick it up, but it's the weather is definitely coming in. I was fishing earlier, and you can see the clouds coming in purple. So I kind of had to make a decision. I came back, had a lunch, hiked around, and I'm literally within a 2-hour window of, do I leave or do I stay the night in the rain? I decided I'm going to try to beat it out, get home, get cleaned up, enjoy tomorrow around the house, go for a ride. So looks like I'm only doing a one-nighter. Wasn't my goal, but just by the way the weather's looking right now, it's not really making noise right now, but it was a couple minutes ago. So hopefully I'll make it before the rain, and big trip. So this is the most exposed part of the hike. It's been raining the whole time, but it's more of a drizzle. In fact, every now and then I'll even see a couple white little hail pellets come down. Not big, but you can feel it. But kind of going up a ridge right now. An idea of where we're going. So it's very open. In the forest, the rain was kind of blocked by the trees. Not out here. Glad I ate lunch, so I had the energy to make this back at a decent time. So the sun just popped out, and coming down I'm noticing that the trees have a lot of pitch, so that means they're near to freezing at night. And obviously they thaw out in the day, but you can use that for a lot of stuff. Here's an idea of the incline coming down. So it is predominantly downhill now. See where they call it Rocky Mountains, because every step has a rock. They did a lot of trail work here as well. Each little step down was a rock. It's probably almost 18 inches high. So I remember coming up this, it was a strainer. So they've done a lot of good work here on the trails. I've seen a couple groups coming up. It's always 1 and 2s, and weather surprised me. It cleared up. So I've probably got about 1.5 miles to go. This is probably one of the prettier parts of the hike. Definitely in a dense forest, where the trail is just bisecting a pretty steep angle. Surrounded by the rain clouds, but it looks like it's opened up, and I think it's fine now. Weather wasn't a spot in this area. So my next trip, I'm going to southern Utah in about a month to Capitol Reef. Never been there. That should be my last backpacking trip of the year. This will do it for Rocky Mountain National Park. I'll still obviously come up here on a day hike, but it'll start to get too cold to really have a lot of fun on an overnight trip. Maybe in another 3 or 4 weeks. Once you hit October up here, I wouldn't do it. But I'll maybe check in one more time. Just a view of the trail again. So just a nice open meadow and very quiet. I am now in the last quarter mile of the journey. It was a good trip. I wouldn't call it exciting. Didn't really see any animal encounters. Fishing wasn't great. Weather turned out to be great now, so again, I did a trip there and back. I stayed up at Finch Lake, fished today, just above it at Pear Lake, so it's about 7.5 miles to get there. So got some good hiking in, but definitely downhill on the way there. Today I saw a grand total of maybe about 10 people, and on day 1, 2. So if you're coming to Rocky Mountain National Park on a holiday weekend, the Finch Lake Trailhead is definitely a good one to go to.